I want to say welcome to everyone that has registered for this class today. And I'm really, really glad to see you all here today because you're going to get valuable information. Before I introduce myself and start with the session, can you please share with me how many people that's here today are actual high school students who are parents with students, children that's going to school, and who are employees that's studying part-time. So I would really like to see, because I would like to know who I'm speaking to and what would the audience be. So please share with me what is your interest. Is it for yourself? Is it for your child? Are you studying part-time? Are you a university student? So please share with me before we start. Okay, so there's someone who's got their hand up. Type for us in the comment block what you are. Are you a student yourself, or are you a parent with children? All right. So please type it for us in the chat box. Because I can see Tembi, your hand is up. There was someone else whose hand was up. So please share with us in the chat box if you are a parent with children, if you're the student yourself, or if you're an employee that's studying part-time. Okay, so share that with us in the chat box, or if you are from an institution where you are working with students. So please share that with me. I would really like to know. Okay, and so while we are waiting for everyone to respond, here is some answers. Let me see. Someone said, okay, disabled, parent with children, and employee studying part-time. My chat box is disabled. Oh, okay. So please put it in the question and answer block. I don't know why the chat box is acting funny today, but put it in the Q&A box, and then I can see who you are and what it is that you need assistance with. So there's someone else who said parent with children. There's someone that says employee doing studies for personal career development. Fantastic. Parent with child. Yes, parent with children and employee studying part-time. So there's a few combinations here as well. All right. Parent with child. Okay, so what my focus is going to be is to teach yourself, but also I'm going to help you to teach someone else. All right, so you can still type your responses in there. I'm going to introduce myself quickly. So I'm Cecilia Denton. I'm an industrial psychologist. I've got two businesses, one that does psychometric assessment for companies, mostly for employees. And then on the other hand, we've got the Study Methods Academy. You can actually Google it if you like. It's the studymethodsacademy.com. There's this guide and everything is on that website. There's also a place where you can make bookings for meetings to have consultations with us. But these sessions are very nice because I'm teaching you exactly here what we do there. So please keep your eye on these invitations for more study methods sessions. I also want to prepare you so long for the stress management sessions. There's one next week, and I think on the 1st and I think on the 8th. So please keep an eye on those sessions throughout the year. It is crucial, and you will be able to plug it into the study methods. Research actually tells us now, we all know it, but research actually has confirmed that stress causes an incredible impact on your ability to think analytically and to reason through problems. So as soon as your stress is out of control, you can't even think straight. And we do know that, but it has been backed up with very good research. Okay, so there's more people saying also studying, counseling, training. I'm a housewife. I have 3 kids at school. This is for my self-development. Yes. And this person here says, I'm in a learnership program. Okay, fantastic. So we've got a little bit of everything here. And everyone here will be able to use these tips and techniques. Okay, so the first thing I want to tell you, throughout this session, you are welcome to write things in the Q&A box. As you think of things, I will address it as we're going along, as well as after the session. And then right before we start, everyone will be able to get this manual from me. Just email me or the HR Talk. I'll be able to forward it to you. Just take note that our email address and website on this book must still be changed to the studymethodsacademy.com. So that's the only thing that is not correct at the moment. Okay, and then I'm going to start with telling you how to summarize, how to use visualization to aid your long-term memory in order to remember. And then I'm going to do just touch on a few other things that will help you. The most important thing I want you to think about and start with now already, you need to get your mindset correct. If you are plagued with thoughts of, I'm not good enough, I can't do it, I don't have enough time, all of those things, it will affect your performance. You need to get ready and get ready in your head. And also tell your children this. And the way that you do this is get your stuff ready. Get it in place. Have a place where you study, a little corner that's yours, a special place, not at the dining room table where everyone is walking past, not where everyone is bothering you, whatever. You have to have a corner that's nice, cozy, with a ventilation, a nice lamp that shines on your work, a chair that's comfortable, not too soft, not a bed, forget about it. Have your place ready. Have a lot of these blank pages available. Have pens, pencils, and color cookies available. Also, always have your water available. So you can have some snack types of things available. That also, it just motivates you a little bit. But it must be no sugar, but protein type snacks. So things like droewors, biltong with fat on it will be very good for you. Nuts that's fatty will help you. No sugary stuff. So you want to prepare for this whole thing. And all of these small little things combined will make up the success of this thing. It's not just one thing. Don't think that learning means one thing and that is I must remember. No, it is made up of a whole bunch of things, and you're going to approach your process step by step, little bits by little bits. So once again as well, we are also going to look at a calendar. So the calendar is the thing that's going to organize your stuff into manageable little chunks. If you think about, if you want to lose weight, say you want to lose 20 kilograms of weight, or think about any big person that wants to lose weight. If you have to think about, I have to lose 20 kilograms of weight, it makes you feel overwhelmed. It's a lot. But if you break it up into manageable little pieces, just that part for today, tomorrow is the next part. That is the only part for the next day. And the next day, step by step. If anyone thinks about everything that they have to do, you feel overwhelmed and you feel crazy, like you don't even want to start because it's too much. With your study process, it's the same thing. You're going to do it one step at a time, little bits at a time. And yes, I'm going to ask you to be disciplined, and I'm going to ask you to be conscientious. You need to decide, do I want to be successful or don't I? And success goes hand in hand with discipline. You can decide that up front. A lot of people tell me, oh, a roster doesn't work for me. The plan doesn't work for me. Blah, blah, blah. None of us like it. None of us like it. None of us wants to work and learn. But your end goal is success. It's freedom. It's education. It's a promotion at work. It's maybe a bigger house. It's maybe to enable your children to do even better one day. That's your main goal. Therefore, over here, you need to be disciplined, be focused. And your discipline also includes scheduled and planned rest days. Do not neglect your rest periods and good night's sleep. So when I talk about discipline, I mean be disciplined and focus in everything that it is that you do. So let's start with that mindset. I'm going to show you what tools you can get into place for all of that, but that's where you want to get your mind at. And if you can see maybe your children is a little bit lazy or, hesitant or whatever, explain to them that if they want to be successful, there's a few things that they have to do. And this is how it works in this life. They say that winners are prepared to do what losers don't want to do. I think I've got that right. I think that's what they say. But it's like the one guy does something that the other one is not prepared to do. So here and there, you need to sacrifice maybe a TV program or whatever, but you reward yourself at the end of the day. Say on the Friday night, I can watch any movie that I want if I diligently stick to my programs throughout the week. So have little reward systems as well. Okay, but let's start with the most important part first. So I'm going to email you this book. So this is how you're going to approach it. So there's the introduction, there's everything that's in there. The PDF version of this is nice because you can type in your responses in this book. So can you see here on page 4? Every chapter beforehand has got a little self-evaluation part to it. Fill that in so that you can get an idea of where you stand in this particular topic. So the first one is how to study and summarize using visualization. So fill it in and it will ask you particular questions on, do you make use of specific summary techniques or do you rewrite your whole textbook? Is your current summary technique working for you? If not, why not? So you can go through it and get an idea of where your own gaps are. Okay, and then I want to show you the options that I have. So I'm going to focus mainly on a structured learning summary technique and then an unstructured summary technique, which is the typical mind map, which you may remember. The storytelling technique, you can do that as a separate thing. You can do the storytelling technique inside your two choices that you can choose from here. So I want to show you an example of what the structured summary techniques look like. I just think I must just make this thing smaller. Okay, so this is a structured summary technique. Can you see it looks like an organogram? Very structured. Now, immediately when I saw this, I liked it. The other type of summary technique, I want to just jump to the mind map. It looks like this. This is most of you may have heard about this one. I don't like it because for my brain, it's too chaotic. A lot of people look at it and they like it immediately. So you know what it is that you like and which one you want to follow. The principle is the same in the sense that you can see in the middle there is the main topic. Then you've got your branches, your main branches, which is your subheadings, and then you've got your detail. But I'm going to explain the structured summary technique based on this principle. And but you will see whether you choose the mind map or not, the principle stays the same. Okay, so get this picture in your head. So the fruit, say for example, and I did simplify this in a big way, so you can make very complex chapters and work. You can apply it to this. You can apply anything to this. This is just simplified so that it's easy for me to explain it. So say, for example, my subject is about vegetables and fruits and stuff. So this would be chapter 1. And what I want you to do is to get ready with every single summary that's going to be made on a blank page, and you want to turn it like this side. You can do it that side. You can do actually whatever you want, but you want a clean page with no distractions and lines on it, because I'm going to show you how it's possible to remember the data using visualization without too much effort, because it's the same principle as why can I remember the movie with Brad Pitt in it, or I always like to refer back to Titanic. I don't know why I always refer back to that, because I saw the movie maybe 20 years ago. I can still remember the entire movie. If I had to watch the movie again, there'll be gaps that will obviously be filled into my head that I may have forgotten, but I can still clearly remember what Leonardo DiCaprio did. He met the girl, the boat went down, she was lying on a door, on on the ocean, and he obviously couldn't make it onto the door, which everyone wonders why not. Anyway, you know the story. Why can I remember that? I watched it I think I may have watched it again 15 years ago. I can remember the whole thing, but I cannot remember the biology and the history that I studied last night. And that literally happened to me as well when I was in school. I would literally not remember what I put into my head last night. The trick is the fact that you put it into the wrong place. The existing structures are already in the mind, but when we try to learn, we rely on the short-term memory. So the likelihood of remember it a day or 2 days or even a week later is very slim. So what most people do, they rely on their short-term memory. And the fact that they can still remember things actually shows a hell of a lot of intelligence, because it's very difficult to recall stuff that was placed in your short-term memory instead of the long-term memory. So if you were doing fairly okay, relying on your short-term memory, it actually shows quite a lot of intelligence. I hope you know what it is that I mean. So you may be thinking, I'm a little slow, I'm not that bright, I can't always remember. You're actually pretty good if you are relying on your short-term memory and you're actually making it in exams. So, but I'm going to show you how to do it effortless while relaxing. Okay, so what I'm going to show you now is explained in the next section here, but I'm not going to read it through. I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. And I want you to participate because this is going to be very important. Okay, so let's look at the screen in front of you. Shows my chapter 1 is about fruits. So I have written it down there at the top of the page. Can you see the subheading of fruit is apples, pears, and bananas, right? And then you've got your contents. Below apples, you can make jam from it, juice from it, whatever. And pears, you've got cakes and tarts, and bananas, you've got loaves and dried bananas. You can see I just made that I made that up. Okay, so when you start, take your page, write down at the top of the page in the right-hand top corner. If you've got a page there with you now, get a page, grab a pen. You can do it with me. Because I really want to show you how it feels when you go through it. So grab a page if you've got one. So in the top right-hand corner, this is my page 1, and you do want to number your pages, because the problem is if you have to make 50 summary pages on this particular topic, you're going to get confused if you don't number your stuff and if you don't keep track of your stuff. So what we're going to do now, these pages are going to be filed in a little folder, and you have to be organized. Put these pages in a folder as you complete and finish it, so that you have got easy reference in the future. You're never going to redo this. Never, ever. You do it once, it is going to be similar. It's not like you watch the movie Titanic and they make 3 versions for you, isn't it? There's one movie, one story, and you watch the same movie again. You don't go make new Titanic movies. So this is what you're going to do. You don't confuse your brain. One summary page, one time, and that is it. So page 1. Okay, now if you guys have a paper there with you where you are at the moment, do the same as what I'm doing. So you write in the top middle, at the top of the page, write down, this chapter is about fruit. Write it down. There where you've written it down, see it. Okay, but firstly, what you want to do, if you have your handbook, so this is my handbook, and I'm going through the whole book for chapter 1, and I just want to get an overview of chapter 1. And my chapter 1 is about fruit. Then you want to page through it, and you want to identify, circle it in your book. Even if it's not a book, if it's printed out documents, like I see the schools do nowadays, it can be quite confusing because they print out this part and that part. Create your own. Don't let other people determine what it is that you're going to do. Create your own. So now identify the subheading, circle it. This is subheading 1. This is subheading 2. This is subheading 3. Sometimes there's up to 5 or 6 subheadings. Doesn't matter. It can be a hell of a lot. Don't be scared of it. You get an overview of your whole entire chapter very nicely. So now I already know my chapter is about fruit. My topics, my subheadings is it's apples and it's about pears and bananas. Okay, so I'm getting the picture. This is what it's all about. And then only are you going to start looking at your contents for each subheading. But let's not be too hasty. Let's go back to your summary page where you've written down fruit. Then draw the line exactly like I've got up here, and you write down your subheadings. So my first subheading is apples. My second subheading is pears. My third subheading is bananas. Okay, so for you guys, whether you've written it down or not, I want you all to close your eyes. Everyone out there, close your eyes, relax your shoulders, because you've got this thing. Close your eyes, relax your shoulders, breathe deeply. So now imagine the page that I just showed you, the white blank page. Imagine and see where you wrote the little number 1 on the right-hand top corner. This is my page 1. Take your eyes or your imagination. Keep your eyes closed. Take your imagination back to the middle top page where you write down fruit. See how you wrote it, fat capital letters, and you drew a block around it. Then literally see the 3 subheadings that you wrote down. And don't try to see it. Don't try to remember. Relax and breathe and just see it. Can you see the first subheading, which is apple? So whether you wrote out the word apples or whether you drew an apple, doesn't matter. See it on the left-hand side of your page to the side at the top. Then go to the middle. What was the word that you wrote down there? So keep your eyes closed, relax your shoulders, and just see the word. And that word was pears. So now I've already seen 2 of my subheadings. Now go to the total right-hand side. What was the third subheading? And just see it where you wrote it on the page. Don't try and remember it. Just see it. And that is bananas. Okay. So you guys can open your eyes. And did you see it the way like I've demonstrated it there on my page? Okay, so that is the first step. So now you go back to your handbook and you read through all the content that's below the topic apples. So in this case, I just made it very simple. So you can number it, you can make little dots or marks, whatever. Remember, you can do on your page whatever you want. You will be able to remember it if you visualize it. So you can draw a huge big spider there. You can write out a word. You do, however, want to stay away from too many words. In the beginning, you may be tempted to write out a little bit more. It's also okay. Don't be scared, but try and visualize your keyword. Can you all remember when you were in school and the teacher would tell you, write down one word, you're supposed to remember it? They never gave you context around what it is that they mean. If you do it this way, and you can see the context in which I'm writing down the one word, I will be able to, it will trigger the thoughts for me. But I remember when they told us that, I think I was in grade like 4 or 5 or something, and they said, just write down one word, you'll remember everything. And I thought, but that is just ridiculous. And it didn't work because I didn't understand the context in which they meant it. So the context in which I mean it is in this context. So apples, you want to write it down in relation to the next subheading, which is pears, which is bananas. And the relation between them all is they are fruits. Then if you write down below apples, you get, say, for example, jam, and below jam, you've got juice. And so even though I'm just writing down jam and just the word juice, I want to see, what does jam mean in relation to apples? What does it mean in relation to juice? What does it tell me about the big story? And then when I look at juice, I want to know, what does it mean in relation to jam? What does it mean in relation to apples? Even how does it relate to pears and the rest? So that you have a bigger picture. Never ever try to remember or learn something in isolation, because that is what I feel like they sort of, the part that they left out when I was in school is I could not I couldn't connect the dots myself. I couldn't understand what they meant. But everything, it's a trigger. It's an association. It follows through like a story. So now you've written down jam and juice. And for those people, I'm sorry, I'm throwing things around here. For those people who did write down on a piece of paper, write down jam and write down juice. And then everyone out there, close your eyes, relax your shoulders again, breathe deeply, and without effort, just see what you wrote down on your page. See your little number 1 where I numbered my page. This is page number 1. The topic in the middle top page is fruit. There's, in this particular summary, 3 subheadings, and I can see there's 3 blocks. The one was apples. It starts with an A for apples. Then there's pears, and then there's bananas. And see the way you wrote down the word. See it. Is it a fat B for banana? Is it a fat P for pears? Or whatever. And then without thinking and without looking, if your eyes are closed, try to just see what you wrote down below apple. And in this case, there was actually a JJ. There's another quick link for you. I see JJ, which is jam and juice. All right, so anyone out there for whom this is working and who can see that they can recognize it, just put it in the Q&A box and tell me if you can see the jam and the juice. Let me just open my chat box here. Okay, so who out there was able to see apples, pears, bananas, and underneath apples, the content of jam and juice? Who was able to see that effortlessly with your eyes closed? Let me see. Okay, good. So someone here says, I could see everything that I wrote. So it's very important for you to know that this goes into your long-term memory. Okay, but okay, let's continue to pears. So now I've visualized the whole story, apples included. Let's move on to pears. So you go back to your handbook, circle, and identify all the topics there. And remember, things that will be important when you choose your content, because this is what people often tell me, they don't know what content to write down. There's just too much. Look at the beginning and the end of paragraphs. Look at words that's printed in bold and in cursive and circle it. Don't write down the same thing twice, because sometimes they say the same thing twice. Get the idea. What is the picture that they're trying to get you to understand? Write down keywords. So now you go back, write down under pears, you can make cake and you can make tarts. Okay, so once again, step back from your piece of paper, close your eyes, breathe deeply, relax your shoulders, just effortlessly see what you wrote on your page. Top right-hand corner, page 1, the middle is fruits. So all of you keep your eyes closed, né? And then you've got apples, pears, bananas. What was under apple? So there I can remember a JJ. There was jam and there was juice. Under pears, what I can do with pears or make with pears is cake and there's tarts. So it's very similar to what you can do with apples, but there's a slight difference in it. So you can see the associations. All right, so now you can open your eyes again. And now we are going to go back to the contents for bananas. So go back to your handbook. And circle, read through everything there and determine what can be done under banana. So what we've got here is banana loaf. And point number 2, dried bananas. Okay, so what you can do with bananas is you can make a loaf with it. It's very similar to cake and tarts, but it's a little bit different. And I can dry it. So with apples, I was able to make juice, but with bananas, I can actually dry it. All right, and this is your last round. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, relax your shoulders, and just see what you wrote down on your paper. So page 1, in the middle is fruits. Then you've got 3 subheadings for this particular chapter. I've got apples, I've got pears, I've got bananas, and under apples, there's the JJ, jam and juice. Under pears, there was cake, there was tarts that you can make, and under bananas, there was something similar to cake. So this was loaf. This was a little bit different, but I can also dry it. I'm not going to make juice like I did with apples, but I'm going to dry it. So if you look at it like that, that is your whole chapter taken care of. It's going to obviously take you a little bit longer than we did here now, because the work will be a little bit more unfamiliar. But another secret is try to keep a chapter to one page. You will be tempted to go on to a next page. I have made very complicated summaries on a page like this. And what you can even do to categorize information, you can even draw blocks around some of the groups of information. Remember, you can draw pictures on here. The more weird or funny your notes are and you visualize it, the easier you will be able to remember it. Another thing that I want to tell you, you've now placed the information in your long-term memory. If you are in a hurry and lazy, like I've been before, and you make this summary without the visualization part and then the repetition of the visualization part, it's going to turn out a disaster. And I've experienced it, because at one point I was in a hurry. I was very lazy. I made a whole bunch of summaries like this. I didn't visualize it. I didn't repeat. When I went back to these notes, I did not know what was going on. I couldn't recognize none of it. And I had to go back to the handbook, and it took me 5 times as long and 10 times the stress. So it may feel slow and it may feel that it's taking long, but believe me, once this is in your head, if you visualized it like this, you won't get it out of your head easily. Another secret, the repetition part, is a very big secret. What you want to do is, if I make a summary today, tomorrow, 24 hours later, ideally, you just want to be able to quickly repeat what you did the day before. That will really ingrain it. So I want to quickly jump to the calendar, because I want to explain to you how this links with my calendar. I'm going to explain this to you just now. The calendar is very, very important part of this process. You are going to have 3 calendars. This is a long-term calendar. The long-term calendar is sort of one of those nice big plastic calendars that you get at Pick n Pay or Checkers. At the beginning of every year, you can write down in pen on it that you can wipe out. You put that thing in your room somewhere so that you can see visually what is going on throughout your year. So, for example, now I can see in the month of May, there's exam period starting. So you do want to have a very strategic long-term picture. Then I want to show you the 2 exam rosters. So this one is for the bigger picture, and this one is for the actual exam. So can you see that I've got two rosters here? I'm going to explain to you why. Can you see table 1 is one roster, and then table 2, that's the second roster. All right, so there is a reason behind this. Let me just blow up the first roster. The guy, when they did the e-guide for us to look pretty, he took away all my colors. So unfortunately, you can't nicely see what it is that I meant here. Okay, but this is your first exam roster. This is before the exam starts. So can you see here at the bottom here, it says exam starts. So this is the date when the actual exam starts. So you want to count back about 3 or 4 weeks, or however long you feel you need. So you can see that I numbered it day by day. I didn't start particularly on a Monday, whatever. I made my own days because I wanted it to be flexible. So then what I do is I take all my work, I break it up with Post-it notes, and I will say day 1, I'm going to do only page 1 to 19. Day 2, I'm going to do page 20 to 34. You have to be extremely realistic and practical here. Do not just allocate a chapter a day, because one chapter may be 4 pages, another chapter may be 50 pages. So be very realistic, plan this very well, make it easy for yourself, because you have to combine this with your current work and homework. So you can see I was very detailed here. You take a whole day to do this planning, and you'll see that you're slotting in every single subject. I even combine it if you want to, or you can do just one subject at a time, but I combine it, I slot it in until everything is taken care of, and I will be finished by the time the exam starts. But when you start here with day one, it's going to start doing this. So that is what I want to come back to. That is how you are going to remember whatever you studied here on day one. How am I going to remember it 3-4 weeks later? You'll remember it if you summarize it in this way, if you visualize and if you repeat. So can you see on day 2, before I start with day 2, I just quickly want to recap what I did on day 1. Day 3, I want to quickly recap what I did on day 2. Day 4, quickly, I want to recap what I did on, like that. So you want to continue like that. Remember that it's going to be okay if you feel rusty. When you go through it and you think apples or pears, or was it grapes, or it's fine. It's going to be a little bit rusty. Remember, if you think about Titanic, you can't remember every single detail or the sequence. If you watch the movie again, it does remind you again of those little things that you forgot. So be patient with yourself and acknowledge it's fine if some of the stuff is rusty and you can't recall it as clearly. It's normal. Do not think you are just supposed to spit it out like that. That's the other thing that children do. Actually, everyone, we all do it. And then we think, oh my God, I can't remember, I'm stupid. And then you spiral into stress and nervousness. Just be patient with yourself and know that's why I am recapping, is to refresh. This is a very important part because this is the thing that's going to stress you out. So just keep to this calendar. And then I quickly want to jump to the second calendar. So remember now, this exam starts, and this is my second calendar. So here I just roughly worked out on 3 weeks. It can be longer, shorter, whatever. But can you see at the top here, it says exam day 1. So now I've slotted in, can you see on the calendar, I've slotted in which days I'm writing what. So during this period, there will be no new summaries and no new information stuff coming in. What you are going to do, you're going to take out your little folder with all your notes, and all you're going to do is visualize again and review. No new notes, no new summaries. If you think, but now I can't remember this fruit chapter at all, don't make new summaries. Go back to your old summaries, visualize and reflect, visualize and reflect. You know how quick it's going to be if on day, say here on day 2, it says your subject is history. The day now before your history subject, you're going to take out your 20 or 30 or how many ever summary notes you have. You take it one by one. And with patience, you're going to recall the notes that you made there. And that's going to be a million times quicker than having to make new summaries and notes on that day before. So the ideal is, here on day 1, is to take out my folder and go through every single summary that I made. But on exam day 2, before your history start, that morning you can quickly review it again, because it will be very quick. It will be so ingrained in your long-term memory. You'll be able to recall it very quickly. So this part, you can see here, it's the most relaxed part. So this is probably the part where parents will say, my child is not studying, I am nervous about it, and you will probably get chased back to your room. This is the part where you can tell people, this is where I sleep better, sleep more. I can have more rest periods because I'm only recapping my hard work that I did in the previous roster. Okay, so can you see, this is why I had to tell you this part together with the visualization part, because you're not going to just visualize over there and then it's over there. It slots in with your whole plan. You've got a good plan. And can you see also why your discipline is very important? This is going to make life so easy for you. It's going to be ridiculous. You're actually going to look forward to studying. I used to, when I got to this part, almost feel guilty because I'm thinking, but I'm not stressing and I've got time left. I can go sleep early. So it was like, ooh. And then I realized, but it's because I'm in control of everything. I've already taken care of everything. I've done everything, and I've done it repeatedly. So when you start with this new way of doing your summaries, in the beginning, you may feel slow. You may feel it's going to take me forever. Let me tell you, when you get into the swing of it and you get your own language and quick with your summaries, you won't believe how quickly you will fly through it. So what I also did, I developed sort of my own language, but that's now when I got really confident. So with psychology, obviously, there's the same type of language that I used there. So what I used to do, if I made my summaries, they will refer to individuals or groups or whatever. So this would be my language. I hope you can see it. So whenever I wrote down on a page a person or an individual, I would just draw a man like that, and I would always know it means an individual or a person. This would mean a group. So I had my own language for certain words. Say, for example, the word psychology. I would just use a big fat P. And I would know throughout all my work that means psychology. So I had like a language, and I think if someone had to look at my notes, they wouldn't understand what it said. But that is how confident you can get and self-assured you can get. And later on, you will get faster. But in the beginning, that mustn't be your goal. Your goal is not to be fast. Your goal is to be very efficient and thorough and get it into your long-term memory for good retrieval. Let me just see what the time looks like. Okay, good. So then there's another thing I want to tell you. I want to quickly jump to the amount of time that you're allowed to study ongoing. So please, in the Q&A box, tell me how long do you study all at once? How long, do you go for, say, 2 hours and then take a break? What do you usually do? What's your habit? So tell me what is it that you do, and I'm going to tell you what you should do. Let me just get this. Where is it? Okay, here we go. Okay, so tell me in the chat box, what is your habit? What do you do? Do you have a limit for yourself where you only study for a specific amount of time, or do you take like a whole Saturday and you just push right through? What is it that you do? What is your habit? What is it that your children do? Okay, so please tell me quickly in the chat box there. 45 minutes, 5 minutes break. That sounds, Stuart, that sounds like I taught you that. But maybe I didn't. But that is what you should do. Okay, so there's two options for you. So for younger children, or for anyone, if you've got maybe concentration issues, I also had quite concentration issues. I also did the 45 minutes thing, but if you want to, you can do 30 minutes with a 5-minute break. It usually works better for younger people. What I used to do, just like Stuart here, 45 minutes, but I took a 15 minutes break. So, but the 5-minute break is also okay. But I liked the 45 minutes with a 15 minutes break because then it makes a full hour. So I can go, say, 2 o'clock until 2:45, 15 minutes break. 3 o'clock, 3:45, 4 o'clock start again. So I just liked it because I could monitor it easily. I didn't have to do calculations. What science tells us, never go past 50 minutes. You may feel energized, you may feel good and push through. Without you knowing it, your brain gets tired and you're actually not as efficient as you would have been if you just take a quick 10 minutes or 15 minutes break. In the 15 minutes break as well, get up from your seat, move a little bit, go fill up your glass of water, take a bathroom break, do a sit-up or a push-up quickly, wash dishes, just move. And a lot of people say, yeah, but then I get lazy and I don't want to get back to the desk. You know, do you want to be successful or don't you? Do you have a plan or don't you? Do you want to ruin it for yourself or don't you? A little minute or two is not so bad, but stick to your plan. Set your alarm. Everyone has got phones now. Set your alarm. You can even in that 15 minutes, then you check your WhatsApps and your things that came through, but switch off everything. You can even switch off your internet for the 45 minutes. And then it's your little reward in that 15 minutes break. It's your little reward. Everything is a reward. In that 15 minutes, you can check your social media. At the end of a week, if you stuck to your program nicely, treat yourself with something nice to eat or a movie. You won't believe how that little rewards. It's different when you're under a lot of pressure. Little things that we take for granted becomes very important. So please remember, this time limit is very important. I don't care how energized or rested you feel. Don't fool yourself. This is what science tells us. So there's someone else that said, if you haven't planned, you need to crunch, but this is not ideal. That's the thing. So if you have to crunch, it does mess up a few things. Remember, you can do it. You can push through, you can do it. But remember, you don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer. You don't have to suffer and struggle. It can be a pleasure to do this. And once you start getting success, when you reap the rewards, you will start just going. I did all of this up to master's degree level. So, and my concentration is really bad. Two tips that I want to give you while we still have time. Go buy yourself lemon verbena. You get it at health shops. It's a aromatherapy oil like lavender and chamomile and all of those things. But this one optimizes your concentration. You burn it in a candle burner. Even in the exam hall, what I used to do, I used to put a drop on a piece of cotton wool, and I would just have the smell around me, and it just increases your focus really well. So that's just a nice little thing. Go buy your nuts and your this and your that. You go buy your essential oils. And the other thing that's also scientifically been proven to help is listening Baroque music in the background. You Google it on YouTube, on your iPad while you are working. Any Baroque music calms you at the same time as it optimizes your energy, and it actually aligns your brain waves to optimal concentration. So everyone is going to say, yeah, but I can't listen to music, it distracts me. Practice it, give it a go. I remember when I was younger, when I started this, and I thought, there isn't anything that can help me, literally anything. So even though it irritated me and I heard it in the background, I thought, listen, science says it helps. So I just threw it in there, and it took me a while to get used to it. And I got used to it. So do it. If they say it helps, throw it in. Go do your shopping. Get excited. Go get your things. Get it together. There's a whole bunch of things that you can get to prepare yourself. So get your Baroque music. Do it softly in the background, not loudly, softly. Get used to it somewhere during the day as well. Let me just see. There was another note here. Please spell the lemon oil product. Yes. I wonder if I can type it in there. Type answer. Can I? Yeah, it's called lemon verbena. Okay. I wonder if you can see that. I don't know if you can see that in the Q&A. I don't know why it looks funny today, the Q&A box, but it's called lemon verbena. So it's lemon, the normal lemon, but verbena is VERBEA. Oh my God, lemon verbena. I had too much coffee. That's what happens with too much coffee. So verbena is VERBENA. So lemon verbena. Try and look for it. Sometimes it's quite rare that you find it, but play with your essential oils. Like lemon verbena will help you with your concentration. If you want to wind down, burn the the lavender drops. So play with things. Make it fun for you. Play with things and make it interesting. So lemon verbena. Yes, so for someone the people that had internet problems, there will be a recording of this, and I will also send you the manual. Okay, and then we've got a quick 10 minutes left. So I just want to quickly touch on the stress side. So let me just quickly go to the stress. There's a lot of stress-related information, but the detailed stress course is starting next week, Wednesday. Make sure that you join that part, okay? There's going to be 3 parts. There's part 1, part 2, part 3. Try to attend it because it's not going to take your stress away, but it will really help you manage it optimally. I think from all the interventions I've done with myself, I probably reduced my anxiety levels from 90% probably to like 5% a day. So it really can help if you work it. I don't have that constant, butterflies in the stomach during the day, the rush of blood, the nervous. I don't have almost none of that anymore. I think I have a healthy 5% left. And it's because I decided the stress thing, I want to be the boss of it. I want to learn what it is. How do I manage it? What happens in my brain? Because I was sick and tired of getting rattled for the slightest of thing. And to just quickly touch on why you go blank in certain situations. So we go blank in exams. We go blank when in meetings or interviews, when you have to talk to people. Now, the going blank is a typical symptom of stressing a lot. So you may know it. Unfortunately, children think when they have it, they are stupid. And it's not that at all. So this is why I'm showing you here a picture of a dendrite. Because the dendrites, can you see the hair-like follicles at the end there? So the hair-like follicles is the way that the neurotransmitter, which is a chemical, gets passed from the one dendrite to the next. Now remember, there's millions of these things in your head. Millions of it. It carries the messages. All your crucial messages lies in that neurotransmitter. Everything is there. Your mood, your memory, your every single thing lies there. People they've determined that if you adjust that, you can address schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, all of those things. So normal people also have to keep an eye on that thing. So everything of us lies in this thing here. So when we stress, and we usually stress when there's an external or internal stressor, but what happens is so an exam would be an external stress, but what I say to myself is an internal stress. So the one can trigger the other one. So what happens is now I tell myself, I'm not going to make it. How many of us say to ourselves, I'm not going to be able to remember? How many times do you say it? Then you program yourself and you won't be able to. Therefore, the hair-like follicles diminishes. And then the neurotransmitter struggles to get its message across. So now you panic and you think, oh my God, I'm stupid. I can't remember. And I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to remember. It's not, you are the one who's actually affecting your brain. So now you are trying to remember and you're trying to recall, but you can't because you are actually stressing even more. And you're just interfering with your own process. That's just trying to do its job. So the more control you can get over what it is that you say to yourself, the better you will do. So in conclusion, I want to say this before we end this session. When you say positive things to yourself, even if you don't believe it, you can say positive things to yourself. The biochemical process will take place in any way. Isn't that fantastic? So even if I say to myself, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, but I don't believe myself because I am actually rattled and I feel sweaty palms and I have heart palpitations. It doesn't matter because the brain takes it as a given. The brain will just take whatever you tell it as a given. So if you say to the brain, I'm stressed, I can't remember, it will actually believe you. If you tell the brain, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm prepared, it will believe you. So please join us next week for more detail on this because it's crucial. You have to tell your children this because if we all just knew it, this is why I don't know why they don't put this into schools as a standard subject so that you can start controlling yourself, breathing, meditating. Just know that the power is in you. It's already there. We're just interfering with it. Okay, let me just quickly look at all the messages. Is there anyone who wants to ask me a question on this? I really hope that you got real good information from this. You and your children do not have to study, and there's nothing wrong with any one of you. So please just get the right tools, and don't be so hard on yourself. Be more patient. Just do what it is that you can do and relax about it, and carry that message over to other people as well. You are also welcome to contact me directly if you want to have more information on the study methods. We are currently working on the Study Methods Academy website to make it easier for people to book and respond. So it may currently not be working as efficient as you want it to work. But therefore, please contact the HR Talk or myself. My email is answer live. Let me see if I wanna type an answer, but I don't know if you guys can see it. If I celia@ptesconsulting.co.za. I don't know if you can see my responses, because for some reason I can't. Can you see my email address? Answered. I don't know. It's like I can't see my own responses that I'm putting here. But anyway, you can get my details through HR Talk. They will send you my details. They will forward you the manual. You can also contact me directly. I will forward you the manual. Do this with your children. Sit and have nice, sessions together with your children. And then please, I hope to see some of you next week, Wednesday, the same time. We do the stress management, and you will love it. All right. And is there no questions? I really hope to hear from you, and I hope to see you again soon. Right. So there's some comments here. Thank you for interesting to identify the visualization, the repetition. Yes. So Willem, I remember you from last year. So I'm so glad to see you this year. It means that you haven't forgotten about us. And I hope to see you in all the other classes. There will also be emotional intelligence classes that you just have to join with. It's just very interesting. Okay, good. So everyone, really, I'm going to look for you guys next week. You better be here. So I'm not going to talk to myself. So, and thank you to you all. Everyone is saying thank you to me. Thank you for joining. It was really nice to see you. Okay, brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Have an absolutely lovely Wednesday. All right. Thank you. Bye.